Today we're diving into a topic that's both exciting and a little mysterious. 10 signs she's constantly thinking about you. Welcome to Bond Chronicle, where we provide real, relatable advice on navigating the complexities of love and relationships. Now, here's the thing. Have you ever found yourself wondering if you're on her mind as much as she's on yours? If the answer is yes, stick around, because today we're decoding the subtle signs that reveal when a woman just can't stop thinking about you. Before we into the signs, let's talk about why this matters. Relationships can often feel like a game of clues. By understanding these subtle behaviors, you can gain clarity on whether she's emotionally invested or if you're simply overanalyzing things. This isn't about jumping to conclusions or making assumptions. It's about paying attention to consistent patterns that reveal what's really going on throughout this video. We're going to explore everything from the way she communicates to the little things she remembers about you. These signs aren't always obvious, but once you start noticing them, you'll wonder how you ever missed them. And here's the kicker: stick around until the end, because we've got a bonus tip that ties it all together. A sign so powerful it might just surprise you. So grab a seat, hit that like button, and let's jump right in, ready to find out if she's thinking about you as much as you hope she is. Let's get started. Sign number 1. She initiates conversations. Often picture this. Your phone buzzes, and it's her starting a conversation again. Now let's be real. When a woman goes out of her way to initiate contact, it's a strong sign. You're on her mind. Think about it. Why would she start a conversation if she wasn't already thinking about you? Whether it's a text message, a casual phone call, or even a comment on your latest social media post, these little gestures speak volumes. It might look like, "Hey, just checking in, how's your day going?" Or even, "I saw this meme and it reminded me of you." These messages might seem random, but trust me, they're not. They're her way of staying connected. But here's where it gets interesting. Pay attention to the details. If she recalls something you've mentioned before, like your favorite coffee spot or that project you've been working on, it shows she's actively thinking about you even when you're not around. For example, "Did you ever finish that report you mentioned?" Or, "I remember you saying you love jazz. Have you checked out this playlist?" It's not just about the frequency, it's about the intent behind it. She's not texting you just to pass the time. She's engaging with you because you matter to her. And let's not forget those good morning or good night texts. They're simple, but they're her way of saying, "You're the first person I thought of today," or "You're the last person on my mind before I sleep." So the next time she starts a conversation, don't just focus on what she's saying, focus on why she's saying it. If she's always reaching out, chances are you're constantly on her mind. Sign 2, she finds ways to be around you. Let's face it, when someone's thinking about you, they'll want to be near you. This brings us to sign number 2. She finds ways to be around you. Have you noticed how she seems to coincidentally bump into you more often than not? Maybe she suddenly has errands to run near your workplace, or she mentions being in the area and decides to stop by. These aren't random events. They're carefully crafted excuses to spend time with you. She might say something like, "I was just passing by and thought I'd say hi," or "I needed some advice, and you were the first person I thought of." These little moments show that she's finding reasons to close the distance between you. But here's the kicker: nonverbal cues. When she sees you, pay attention to her body language. Does she seem nervous, fidgety, or overly excited? These emotions are hard to fake and speak louder than words. Maybe her face lights up the second you walk into the room, or she can't help but smile when you're talking. The truth is, people naturally want to be close to those they think about often. So if she's consistently finding ways to be around you, it's a clear sign you're occupying her thoughts more than she's letting on. Sign 3, she asks questions about your life. The next sign is all about curiosity. She asks questions about your life when someone genuinely cares about you. They'll want to know more than just surface-level details. She's not just asking how your day was, she's digging deeper. exploring the things that make you who you are. She might ask about your hobbies, your dreams, or even your childhood memories, for example. What made you decide to start that hobby? Or did you always want to work in this field? These questions show she's invested in understanding you on a meaningful level, and here's where it gets even more telling. She remembers the answers. Maybe she brings up your favorite football team weeks later, or asks how your passion project is coming along. This isn't casual small talk. It's a sign she's paying close attention because you're important to her. Also notice how these questions go beyond the usual pleasantries. She's trying to build a connect, not just pass the time. Genuine curiosity like this signals emotional investment and a desire to be a part of your world. So the next time she starts asking questions, take note. It's not just about the words, it's about her intent. She's not just listening. She's actively learning about you because you matter to her. Sign 4. She remembers the small things. Let's talk about the power of small details. Think about it. How often do we let the little details of everyday conversations slip by? But when she remembers those small things you mentioned in passing, it's not by accident. It's because she's paying attention, and more importantly, she cares. For example, you might have casually mentioned your go-to coffee order weeks ago, and suddenly she surprises you with your double-shot espresso with oat milk. Or maybe she remembers that you're a fan of a particular band and sends you a link to their latest release. It could even be as simple as calling the name of your childhood pet or a funny story you shared. These small acts of remembering are a reflection of emotional investment. She's not just listening, she's holding on to the pieces of your world because they matter to her. This goes beyond politeness. It's her way of showing that she values what makes you unique. So if she's pulling out details that even you might have forgotten, take note. It's a clear sign. You're occupying more than just a fleeting thought in her mind. Sign 5. She mentions you to her friends. Here's where things get even more telling. For most women, their friends are their inner circle, the people they trust the most. So when she brings you up in conversations with her friends, it's a sign you're on her mind a lot. Whether she's sharing a funny story you told or casually mentioning something you did, it's her way of weaving you into her world. You might hear things like, "My friend said, you're really funny," or I told my best friend about that amazing idea. You had these comments aren't just flattery. They're proof that you're important enough to be part of her private life. Why does this matter? Women often talk about people who are meaningful to them. It's a natural way of processing emotions and sharing excitement. So when you come up in her conversations, it's a big deal. It means you've made an impression strong enough to linger, even when you're not around. Pay attention to how often her friends seem to know about you if they're dropping hints like, "Oh, so you're the guy she's always talking about." Then congratulations. You're clearly living rent-free. In her mind, sign 6. She gets jealous or protective. Now let's tackle a sign that's a little more subtle. But just as significant, jealousy is often misunderstood. But in small, healthy doses, it can be a clear indicator of emotional attachment. For instance, if you casually mention another woman, does she seem a little quieter or change the subject? Or maybe she perks up when someone flirts with you quickly, finding a reason to join the conversation or redirect your attention. It's not about possessiveness, it's about care. Her reactions stem from the thought of losing your attention or connection to someone else. It's her way of showing that she values what you share and doesn't want to risk losing it. You'll notice this protectiveness in other subtle ways too. Maybe she offers unsolicited advice when she thinks someone is taking advantage of you, or steps in to defend you when she feels you're being misunderstood. The key here is balance healthy. Jealousy is a reflection of her emotional investment, but it's not controlling or toxic. If she's showing these signs of protectiveness, It's because she genuinely cares about you and sees you as someone worth holding on to. Sign 7. She compliments you often. Next up, when a woman frequently praises you, it's not just about being nice, it's a way of expressing admiration and affection. Pay attention to what she compliments, because it reveals where her focus lies. It could be your appearance, you look great in that shirt, or something deeper, like your intelligence, you always have the best ideas, or I love how you think outside the box. What makes these compliments significant is their consistency. She's not throwing out generic flattery, she's noticing in specific things about you. Maybe it's the way you handle challenges, your sense of humor, or even how you treat others. These observations show that she's paying attention to you on a deeper level. Compliments are a powerful way to express how much someone values you. If she's consistently pointing out things she admires, it's because you're occupying her thoughts more than you realize. So take note of those moments. It's her way of saying, I see you and I appreciate you. Sign 8. She mirrors your behavior. Let's talk psychology. Have you ever noticed her adopting your phrases, interest, or mannerisms? This isn't a coincidence. It's called mirroring, and it's a subconscious way humans connect with those they admire or feel close to. For example, if you've mentioned your love for a particular type of music, and suddenly she's sharing playlists in that genre, it's a sign she's aligning her interest with yours. Or maybe you notice her mimi, your body language, leaning in when you do, or matching your tone and energy during conversations. Mirroring happens because we naturally want to create a sense of familiarity and connection with the people we think about. It's not forced, it's instinctual. If she's picking up on your quirks, it's because she feels a bond and wants to strengthen it. So next time you notice her saying something you always say, or enjoying something you love, remember, it's her way of saying, I feel close to you. Sign N. She supports your goals and dreams. When a woman is emotionally invested, she'll actively support the things that matter to you. This isn't just about encouragement, it's about showing up for you in ways that prove she cares about your growth and happiness. For instance, she might cheer you on during a tough project, celebrate your milestones, or even offer practical help when you're facing challenges. Maybe she says, I believe in you, or sends you a thoughtful message before a big meeting or event. These actions show she's rooting for your success because it's important to her support. Like, this isn't casual, it's intentional. It demonstrates that she sees you as someone worth investing in and wants to be part of your journey. Whether it's helping you brainstorm ideas or simply being your biggest cheerleader, her actions reveal a deeper connection. If she's consistently there for you, even when things get tough, it's a clear sign she's emotionally invested in your well-being. Sign 10. She looks at you differently. There's something undeniably powerful about the way someone looks at you when you're on their mind. Her gaze might linger a little longer than usual, or you catch her stealing glances when she thinks you're not looking. These moments aren't accidental. They're windows into her thoughts. Notice the softness in her eyes, or the way her expression lights up when she sees you. Maybe her eye contact is more intense during conversations, as if she's fully present and hanging on to every word you say. These subtle changes in how she looks at you reflect an emotional draw that's hard to ignore. It's not just admiration, it's a deeper connection that's expressed through her eyes. So the next time you catch her looking at you differently, don't underestimate what it means. Her gaze says more than words ever could. It's her way of showing how much you mean to her. Bonus tip: actions speak louder than words. Here's the bonus tip for those of you who stuck around. Actions speak louder than words. She might not come right out and say, I'm constantly thinking about you, but her consistent efforts and behaviors speak volumes. It's in the way she shows up for you, remembers the little things and finds ways to be near you. These actions are her way of silently but powerfully communicating her feelings. Think about it. Words can be easy to say, but consistent actions require genuine intention, whether it's initiating conversations, supporting your dreams, or stealing those little glances when she thinks you're not looking. It's all connected. Each sign we've discussed builds a bigger picture of how she feels, so when you're unsure of her thoughts, look at what she does, not just what she says. Her actions will always tell the real story. Let's quickly recap the 10 signs. She's constantly thinking about you. 1. She initiates conversation often. 2. She finds ways to be around you. 3. She asks meaningful questions about your life. 4. She remembers the small details. 5. She mentions you to her friends. 6. She gets a little jealous or protective. 7. She compliments you often. 8. She mirrors your behavior. 9. She supports your goals and dreams. 10. She looks at you differently now. Remember, these signs aren't about isolated moments. What truly matters is the pattern of her behavior over time. 1 or 2 signs might mean she's being friendly, but when these signs are consistent, they reveal something deeper. Take a moment to reflect on the relationships in your life. Are you noticing these signs from someone special? If so, maybe it's time to take things to the next level, or at least recognize how much you mean to her before you go. We want to hear from you. Which of these signs have you noticed? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Bond Chronicle, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update.